Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. Got a little short statement I'd like to share with you, and like I did the time before, and I've started to start all my posts like this, is to apologize to you, the people who I have found oftentimes to get so disgusted, get so angry with you, get so mad with you. In fact, I've cussed you out. I say cuss, because cuss means calling you some strange names. I didn't curse you. I don't have the ability to curse, but I can cuss. And I cussed you. I cussed you because you had me believing that you were ready. You had me thinking that you were ready to be an instrument for the power of God. And when I found out that you weren't, it made me angry. But now I have to admit that I was wrong. I assumed that you were telling the truth. I assumed that when you said you knew God, you did. Even though all of your actions indicated that you were as blind as a bat as far as God is concerned. And so I should have been a little bit more cautious, but I was a wild head looking to change things in the world so people could enjoy heaven on earth. But I found out I was alone. And so I do want to apologize to you for the things that I have said that didn't do any good for you. But there are still some things I'd like to say. That those of you who call yourselves the higher order of things, those of you who say you have a connection with God, there were a couple of questions that would come up. And you would think that a person who's in love with God, who's in love with human beings as an evidence of that, would be able to answer these questions in a positive way. But one of these it might be a statement, could be a question that I would like to present to you is this. I've heard it said, how can a man say that he loves God that he's never seen? Perhaps some evidence, but never seen it. But human beings that walking around you back and forth every day, just like you, breathing and all these other things that you do, they're doing it as well. And you can't stand them, but you love God. The indication is that that cannot be done. The indication is that that's a fallacy. In other words, it's really a lie. Excuse me a second. Another statement or question that comes around that I think some Christians and other people of other faiths, perhaps, should consider. This next one is, how can you say, or anyone say, you care about someone's soul? I'm just trying to save your soul. I'm trying to save your soul. Oh boy, I'm just trying to save your soul. Ask any preacher, especially in America, any Christian preacher in America, how can you care, ladies and gentlemen, about a man's soul? How can you care about a man's soul? You don't really know nothing about a man's soul. But you don't care anything about his life. You preaching to a man, you say, trying to save his soul. And the man walking around here in this life going through all kinds of stuff. And you pass it off like it don't mean a thing. What do you look like in a situation like that? Not to God, but what do you look like that to your family? What do you look like to your friends? Unless they're con artists too and they think that you just scam somebody for their benefit, they're going to be kind of against you. But there's one more last question statement I'd like to share with you. And I'm sure you've heard it before. How can one spend their entire life preparing for life after death and not give a darn about the life that they got? Preparing for life after death. Who says there's a life after death that you really know about? If you know you got a life right now, I got a life right now. I'm standing here. You are watching me. You're listening to me. You know you got a life. But after you die, is there a life? That could be just plain old superstition. They say people suffer from superstition, things that they don't understand. But that's what they do. That is exactly what they do. I'm prepared for my next life. I want to make sure I get into heaven. I'm going to sit on this couch. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to dance. I'm not going to eat pork. I'm not going to have friendly conversation with people. In fact, I'm going to go over there in the woods and live by myself. Up on the hill where I don't have to deal with people. Yeah, I'm going to do all of these things, preparing and protecting myself for my next life. And everybody looking at you, looking at, what are you doing with this life? I mean, it made some sense if you were talking about your next life and you were dealing with this life. But to pass this life up, as it has no significance whatsoever, except the opportunity for you to prepare for another life, what they call the everlasting life. How can any individual follow that? You want me to tell you? You can only follow something like that if you have been deceived. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I think you know exactly what I'm speaking about. I don't have to make any more commentary about it. So I want to thank you once again for giving me this your time. I am Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people, and that includes you. Bye-bye.